Now we finally go to the last game. Let's talk about the Las Vegas Aces versus the Seattle Storm. Now this series kicks off on Sunday, September the 22nd, which is tomorrow, at 9 p.m. Central Time. Now, again, guys, this is a late game because both teams are on the West Coast. So these games will be late. Not ideal, but, it is what it is. The game 2 will take place on Tuesday, September the 24th at 8:30. And game 3 will happen on the Thursday, and TBD on the actual time of that game because they will decide that if it actually comes down to a 3-game series. Now, another thing to note is, guys, we're always in Central Time. So, again, this is Central Time. If you're Eastern Time, just add an hour to that. So, yeah. Anyway, let's talk about the Las Vegas Aces versus the Seattle Storm. The matchup that supposedly the Aces wanted. The Aces wanted this matchup. They did not want to face the Indiana Fever. They got what they wanted. So let's see if it's actually going to pay off for them. All right, so first, let's talk about who are the Las Vegas Aces. So the Las Vegas Aces are the 2-time defending champs. They are a team that has absolutely been dominant for years, okay? This team, in the first year that Becky Hammon was the head coach, they won a WNBA championship. Last year, they barely lost any games at all. And they won again. This year, they've cooled down a little bit. They've kind of cooled down. It's sort of like, oh, have the mighty have not fallen, but cooled. They had a record of 27-13 on the season. And the good thing about the Las Vegas Aces is that while they've had some rough patches throughout the season, they've had some times where it was like, ooh, y'all looking a little bit suspect. While they have had times like that, this team is a team that is surging late. They finished the season with a record of 9-1, so 9 wins, 1 losses in their last 10 games, which is great. That's exactly the momentum that they need going into the playoffs. And the good thing about the Las Vegas Aces is that the Aces guards are getting it together. There was a stint in the season where I was like, man, they're struggling. I was like, man, what's going on with the guards? Jackie Young, Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray. Chelsea Gray, she did get back from her injury. She was not available at the start of the season, but she did come back sort of late. But it was a question of like, okay, well, like, is this team going to get it together? Is this team ultimately going to get it together? And it seems like yes. It seems like the answer to that is yes. They're able to sort of right the ship of sorts. And so that's a huge W for this team. And of course, this team is led by A'ja Wilson. And I left that one. I left that bullet as A'ja Wilson is A'ja Wilson. It's just she just is what it is. With her white t-shirt wearing self, she is who she is, and she is a baller. That's who she is. Did you know that A'ja Wilson leads her team in points per game, rebounds per game, steals per game, and blocks per game? Yeah. Yeah. That's what she does. That's A'ja Wilson. 26.9 points a game. 11.9 rebounds a game. She is she broke the record for most points scored in a season. She broke the record for most rebounds in a season. She beat Angel Reese with that. Now, Angel Reese, if she would have actually finished the season healthy, A'ja wouldn't have got that rebounding award. But the fact remains, A'ja Wilson is doing something that we have never seen before. She is automatic and dominant in a way that we have never seen. We have seen some fantastic WNBA players. Fantastic. Two of my favorite, and I think two of the best players to ever pick up a basketball and play in the WNBA is a player named Lauren Jackson who played for the Seattle Storm. A lot of y'all probably don't know her, but in my opinion, the best post player ever to play in the WNBA. Two, a close second, maybe even eclipses Lauren Jackson a little bit. Took it to another level is Candace Parker. Extremely dominant post players who had a mid-range game, who had a 3-point game, who could just kind of do a little bit of anything, who could defend just about anybody, who was smart on the court, who was a leader for their team. A'ja Wilson she's special. She's doing something that not a lot of people see, very often at least. And she's rocking out, man. And she's the engine for this team. She is absolutely the engine for this team. Let's go to the Seattle Storm. Now, so who are the Seattle Storm? Now, this team, the thing I will say about this team is what a difference a year makes. What a difference. What a difference. What a difference. This is a team that was absolutely atrocious last year. Absolutely atrocious. You all want a reminder of that? This team won 11 games last year. 11. The Indiana Fever were better than them last year. They were better than them last year. Seattle won 11 games. They were terrible. All right. This year, they have a record of 25-15. And they did so by adding key players. You added two huge, in my opinion, they probably got the two biggest free agents from last year's offseason in Nneka Ogwumike and Skylar Diggins-Smith. And they've made a difference. Though this team has some current injuries, right? You have Ezi Magmagor, who's been dealing with a concussion, and you have Jewel Lloyd, who's been dealing with a knee injury. Though I believe that Noelle Quinn did say that Jewel Lloyd will be playing in the game on Sunday, so that's something to note. But lingering injuries are not. It's not good. It's not good. This Seattle Storm team is a team that has new pieces. They have a lot of new pieces that are working. But unfortunately, they are not working as well as we initially thought, or at least as I initially thought. Now, again, guys, I was dead wrong on two teams entering this year. I was dead wrong about the Minnesota Lynx. They're way better than I expected them to be. And I was dead wrong about the Seattle Storm. I thought the Seattle Storm was going to be a way better team than they ended up being. Now, because on paper, this Seattle Storm team is extremely good on paper. But the on-paper version of this squad and what we've seen in reality has not been the same. It hasn't. It hasn't been the same. Yes, Skylar's playing well. Yes, Nneka's playing well. However, Jewel Lloyd has not been the same Jewel Lloyd that we have seen her in the past. And this team has not been as great as I was expecting them to be looking into the season. They have shooters on this team. They do. Off the bench, you got Sammy Whitcomb, right? On the starting lineup, you have Jewel Lloyd and Skylar Diggins-Smith and whatnot. Like you have players who can score. You also have defensive stoppers. You have Nneka Ogwumike in the post. You have Ezi Magmagor in the post. Definite player who's up for Defensive Player of the Year. You have now who just recently joined the team, Gabby Williams, who is another huge defensive player. You have good talent, but they haven't been able to really, really put it together, and that's the thing they've struggled with all season. That's the Seattle Storm. Now, in terms of the previous matchups, the Aces have won three of the four games of the series. Seattle won that first one, and then the Aces have won all the remaining games. So that first one, 78-65, Seattle win. And ever since then, the Las Vegas Aces have sort of taken care of business. A thing to note, guys, is that for all of the matchups, it's basically 3-1. All the better teams are 3-1, which is kind of an interesting tidbit to note. But let's get into keys to success. Let's get into keys to success for the Las Vegas Aces. Now, this is not a cakewalk for them. It's not a cakewalk. So in order for this team to get the dub, Tiff Hayes, it's your time to shine, girl. Tiff Hayes has been one of the best six women in the WNBA this year. She definitely should be in the running for for sixth woman of the year. She has been absolutely a game changer at times for this Las Vegas Aces team. She needs to be even more impactful. She needs to be even more impactful for this team. A'ja Wilson needs her mid-range to fall consistently. Yes, A'ja Wilson is a really good mid-range shooter, but there are some games where she struggles. Like, she just struggles and she can't get shots going. She can't get her mid-range going. So if this team wants to be able to, make it out of the series, A'ja, you got to get your mid-range to fall early. You got to get it to fall early. Most of the time it's falling, but there are some games where she really does struggle with that, and so that to me is the thing that sort of is a big key, because if A'ja Wilson struggles to score, you ain't got no real chance. It's gonna be a struggle fest for the Aces to win if A'ja Wilson isn't in tip-top shape. Though this white tee A'ja Wilson, she's looking pretty great. But I will say, guys, did y'all see A'ja? She has now I saw her with a photo of a white t-shirt with her logo on it, her Nike logo. So she is, I don't know if you can buy it for merch right now, but yeah, so that's kind of cool how she's turned that random white shirt that she was wearing into possibly more of a bag, more money, and adding a white t-shirt to her merch line with her logo on it. So just, gotta look for opportunities to get that bag. All right, continuing on, we need Finals MVP Chelsea Gray to be Chelsea Gray. So the question is, will the real Finals MVP Chelsea Gray please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up. I was gonna do the Slim Shady song, "I'm the Real Slim Shady," with Chelsea Gray in it, but it was gonna be very stupid, so I'm not gonna do it. But yeah, Chelsea Gray, they need you. 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 They need the Finals MVP version of you. Yes, you are coming off an injury, and that is a huge thing. But if the Aces are going to repeat, not only do you need A'ja Wilson being A'ja Wilson, not only do you need Jackie and Kelsey to do their thing, you need your point guard to be a point guard. That's what you need. Okay? That is exactly what you need. And as time has gone on, she's gotten it together. And she came back right before the Olympic break. Didn't look that hot in the Olympics. Came back to the regular season. And over time, she's getting into her groove. As I said earlier, all of the guards, I feel like, are getting more into their groove. Chelsea Gray is definitely one of those players, but there still needs to be more of a shift to the 2 years ago version of Chelsea Gray. And Becky Hammon, please put Sydney Colson in the basketball game. All right? That's a key to success. Guys, I know. There's a lot of people who don't take Sydney Colson seriously. They don't, because she's a jokester, she's funny, she's a good time. But y'all, Sydney Colson is a game changer. And if you all watch the Las Vegas Aces play, if you actually watch the games and you watch the games where Sydney Colson comes in, Sydney Colson, she turns stuff around. Even if she gets in foul trouble, she turns. It's like she shifts the atmosphere. Like she shifts it. Like she just changes it for her team. And it starts with defense. And I just feel like a lot of times where, there's some times where players don't get respect, because you don't score that many points. It's all about points. It's all about points. It's all about the box score and all this other stuff. But no, basketball is way more than reading a box score. It's way more than that. It's about actually watching what happens on the basketball court when certain personnel are in at the same time. It's about watching what happens when a player comes off the bench, comes in the game, and all of a sudden, the team that was scoring a lot of points starts to slow down a little bit, because that defensive pressure comes in. Even if she doesn't get the steal, it's the activity. It's the defensive activity. And the defensive activity turns into offense. Because Sydney Colson can score. She can score. She can. She absolutely can. And I want Becky Hammon to trust Sydney Colson more. And she does trust her more this year. Mainly because I feel like she had to. Because there's been so many injuries not so many injuries, but with Chelsea Gray out and whatnot, and sometimes where the guards are like really, really struggling, the starting guards are really struggling. It's felt like Becky Hammon has been forced to play Sydney Colson and has been pleasantly surprised, but yet and still won't play her as much as she should. Like I don't know. It's one of those things where like the Las Vegas Aces, a huge key to their success this year, a significant key to their success this year has been Sydney Colson. And while her stats are not the best, right? While you can look at her 2.5 points a game and be like, oh, she does nothing. No, she's a huge impact on this team. And again, she changes the atmosphere. It's not all about the box score. I think I'm a fan of impactful players. I'm a fan of players who surprise me. And to be honest with you, Sydney Colson has really surprised me this year. I knew she was good. I watched her play in Athletes Unlimited. That's not the question. That's not the issue. I knew she could play, but she just really never had an opportunity, really, for the Las Vegas Aces besides in garbage minutes in years past. And this year we've seen more of her, and I'm like, oh man, okay, Sydney, do your thing, girl. So yeah, Becky Hammon, play Sydney Colson. Play her, okay? And your team will have success. Mike says maybe the first thing Quita has said I don't agree with it about Sydney Colson, about her being a really good player who should play more. That's fair. I mean, that's fine. That is absolutely fine. It's okay to not agree with everything I say. I try my best to like back up what I say. But if you ultimately disagree, that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. All right, let's continue on. All right, so Seattle Storms, key to success. All right, keys to success. Be healthy. I mean, that's an easy one. That's a pretty easy one. Not really. That's actually not. That's not easy at all. That's actually very hard. But for this team to be successful, they have to be healthy. And when I say that, I mean it. Ezzy Magmagor, I can't remember if they said for sure if she's playing on Sunday or not. I know Jewel for sure is, even though she's had a knee injury. But Ezzy Magmagor, I'm not sure. But for this team to be successful, you need both Ezzy and Jewel. You need them both. Okay? I need them both to be healthy and to stay healthy for the remainder of the playoffs. And guys, we need to see Notre Dame's Skylar and Jewel Lloyd. As we know, Skylar chose to go to the Seattle Storm. One, because she wanted to play for Noah Quinn, but also because she wanted to play with Jewel Lloyd. Jewel Lloyd is a player that Skylar's familiar with. They played for one season together at Notre Dame in South Bend, and we need to see magic. We really do. Skylar has been doing her thing as PG1, right? She's been passing that ball. She's been looking for her shot. She's been scoring when she needed to. But we haven't seen Jewel Lloyd go back to form, and so that's what we need. We need to see Jewel Lloyd. We need to see Jewel Lloyd score that basketball. We need to see it. Last year, Jewel Lloyd hit the WNBA record for most points in a season. It was broken this year by A'ja Wilson, but we saw that last year. Jewel Lloyd can score for days. She can score the basketball. But it is important. It is absolutely important for her to be the offensive firepower. Because, yeah, Skylar can do what she does, but Jewel Lloyd is the X factor in this one. We also need the Olympics version of Gabby Williams to show up. She has to show up. Has to absolutely show up. This is a player who is a top talent in the world. The way that she played in the Olympics was freaking amazing. Yes, her team in France ultimately lost. And she had that shot that was ended up being a 2-pointer, but she was this close to having that be a 3-pointer, and it'd be a different scenario with the Paris Olympics. But Gabby Williams is a straight up baller. She is immensely talented, but we haven't seen it this year for the Seattle Storm. We haven't seen the full of what Gabby Williams did at the Olympics. We haven't. Not this year. We haven't seen it for the Seattle Storm. And so for the Seattle Storm to make some noise, Gabby, you gotta be Olympics Gabby. You gotta be Olympics Gabby. I don't know, maybe put on your France uniform on first and then put your Seattle Storm uniform on top of that. I don't know what you got to do, but turn on that Olympics version of yourself and come out balling. Because if Gabby Williams can be that defensive and offensive juggernaut that she was with France, this team has a chance. Oh yeah, they have a chance. Oh yeah, they have a chance. And then Nneka Ogwumike and Ezzy Magmagor, they got to tag team and take A'ja Wilson out. They have to. They have to. Now, I assume you all know what I mean by taking her out, meaning make her ineffective. Get her out the game, get her in foul trouble, get her frustrated, get her upset, get her missing shots, and make her a non-factor. Because if you can take A'ja Wilson out the game, it is so much easier to take down the Las Vegas Aces. It is so much easier. Okay? And this is not a one-woman thing. No. You need both of them, to take down A'ja Wilson. All right? So that means if Ezzy Magmagor is healthy, we don't know. If she's healthy, and she's able to play, That means constantly switching, giving Asia Wilson different looks, switching off. Sometimes having NECA on her, then switching off. Okay, Ezzy, being ready to help defense and try to get a block shots on her. That means when you're on offense, going after Asia Wilson, getting her in foul trouble, getting her out of the game, because that's your only chance. That is your only chance to really make some stuff happen. Because if Asia Wilson is her normal Asia Wilson stuff, you screwed. You are. So you know that's one of those things. That's one of those things. Is you have to be able to make some noise with your team by having actually breaking news, guys, breaking news. Breaking news. As of 13 minutes ago, Seattle Storm's PR posted on X saying that Ezzy Magmore is ruled out for tomorrow's game against the Las Vegas Aces. So we got breaking news, guys. So while I was on the stream, it has just been announced by the team that Ezzy is out. Okay? Ezzy is officially out for tomorrow's game, which is a huge loss for this team. Again, Ezzy Magmore is officially out. It was just ruled a couple minutes ago by the Seattle Storm. Now here is the tweet right here, so y'all can see it. It says it's the Seattle Storm game status report. Before tomorrow's game, it says Ezzy Magmore is out with a concussion. All right. Well, that's about that. I mean, yeah, it's over. I think it's over. I don't think it's any way. I don't think it's any way that Seattle can win now. It's over. No. It's over. Okay. Yeah. It's gonna take close to a miracle for the Las Vegas Aces to lose now against the Seattle Storm. Ezzy Magmore is out with a concussion. That's a tough loss. That is a tough loss for this team. Wow. But again, guys, breaking news. This was posted to X about 13 minutes ago. Or now it's about 16 minutes ago. But yeah, man, what a breaking news update. So, let's get on to the predictions, guys. Let's get on to the predictions. So I have the Las Vegas Aces winning in 2. I have them winning in 2. Even more so now that Ezzy is out. All right. So yeah, that's a thing. I have them out in 2. I had them out in 2 before it was officially ruled that Ezzy was out. But I still possibly saw a chance for Seattle to win. But now I don't see a chance. I don't. FM says, "Where's the faith, Quita?" FM, I'm a realistic women's basketball observer. I say what I see, and I really don't see. I don't see how they could win. There was a possible pathway if Ezzy was playing, but I don't see it. I really don't see it. So yeah. Tatfu says a sweep, no shot. Yeah. I don't see it at all that the Storm could win. Mike says 2-0. Art Dog says sweep. Yeah, we'll We'll see. We will see. Steve says, what's the official Seattle Storm site say about Izzy? I don't trust X. It's not like a random person is saying that on X. Like it's literally the actual like this is literally Seattle Storm PR that's saying this. So I mean you can go to the Seattle Storm website if you want. Just but usually WNBA teams have the most updated information on X. They usually post it on X faster than they post it on the website, faster than they post it on Instagram or anything like that. So yeah, it's pretty accurate. It's extremely accurate because it's literally coming exactly from Seattle. So I don't know what else there is to what there is to not trust about them saying that. I assume it's on the same website too by now, but I don't know. It's definitely on their X account. Rube says, it's been a minute since I was here. Quita, hope all is well. Hope all is well for you too, Rube. Hope you're doing well. Hope you are doing well. All right. Guys, that was my spiel. We went through every single team. I told y'all my thoughts about every single team that's playing. Gave y'all my predictions about the series. And unfortunately, I don't have any straight up upsets. I think there's potential for upsets, but my predictions don't include any upsets, which is unfortunate. I love upsets. I love it. I absolutely love upsets. As y'all know, literally, I'm wearing a anybody can get got shirt. Like I love it. I want to see. I want to see teams that are supposed to win lose, and I want to see teams that are not supposed to win shock the world and win. That's what I want to see. Right now, I don't predict any upsets. However, there is possibilities of upsets. Like now, so if I had to say one for sure upset possibility would be the Indiana Fever taking down the Connecticut Sun. Like I feel like if there's going to be an upset, it would be that. Because the Indiana Fever, no team wanted to play the Indiana Fever. No team. Nobody wanted to play the Fever. Nobody wants to play them. The reason why is because they are offensive juggernaut. All right? Nobody wanted to play them because they're extremely good. And they are basically kids who are running around and playing fun, playing free, and dominating. And if there's a team that's going to get upset, it will be the Indiana Fever taking down the Connecticut Sun. Now, am I predicting that? No, I'm not. But if I had to say a upset, I would say it would be the Fever over the Sun. The reason why is because I would see a scenario where they're just shooting the lights out. And while Connecticut will stop them on defense, the Fever will wind up scoring like 80 points, but the Connecticut Sun will wind up losing because they can't get shots to fall, and Marina Mabrey has a bad game or something like that. Like that's my situation. That's what I would see. Not that the Indiana Fever will run up 100 on the Sun. I don't see that. I don't see the Connecticut Sun giving up 100 points. I could see them giving up 80 and them not being able to score 80. All right, I could see that happening. I don't see an upset at all for the Atlanta Dream in the New York Liberty. Like I don't see it. Could it happen? Sure. Anybody can get got, yes. So the Liberty have to show up and play well. But I don't see them getting upset. I also don't see the Phoenix Mercury upsetting the Minnesota Lynx. I don't see it happening. Same thing with the Seattle Storm and the Las Vegas Aces. If there has to be one upset, it will be the Fever. Though I am not predicting that. I do have Connecticut in 2 for that one. But guys, the most important thing that we all have to remember is that we all have to respect the motto. All right? The motto is that anybody can get got eventually. All right? Anybody can get got eventually. These are teams that are fallible. They can stink up the joint. They could get surprised. They could be surprised and lose. They absolutely can. It's happened before. It'll happen again in the future. There could be upsets. And so the most important thing is that players have to be on their A game and not take a team for granted. The Minnesota Lynx, they can't be like, oh, we playing the Phoenix Mercury. Oh, we gonna beat them. Oh, it's not a big deal. No, because you can get got. If you're not careful, you can get got. Same thing with the Liberty. Same thing with the Aces. Same thing with Connecticut. You have to respect the motto. It doesn't change. Anybody can get got. Yes, anybody. And so the only way to do your best to avoid getting got is to do your best, your absolute best, and not take anybody or anything for granted. But guys, we'll see. We'll ultimately see what happens, guys. But that is my overview of the playoffs. That is my playoff download for the first round. Again, we have the New York Liberty versus the Atlanta Dream. We have the Las Vegas Aces versus the Seattle Storm, Connecticut Sun versus the Indiana Fever, and the Minnesota Lynx versus the Phoenix Mercury. So that is what we have right here. So yeah, guys, we gonna see what happens. We are ultimately going to see what happens.